Welcome back, everybody. Woohoo! We are on day 3 of the 12 days. Spoiler alert, there's 13 days, but the class is called the 12 Days of Crafting Fun. We are unboxing and making 13 beautiful cards from the 12 Days of Crafting Fun Advent Calendar. I just had a brain fart, but I'm pretty sure that that's what it's called. The product that we are talking about is this beautiful Advent Calendar released 2025 through Stampin Up. So we had several days ago an unboxing video of all of the stamp set and all 12 of the surprises that came in that box. And then we also had a marrying up of those products with the kits that I created, especially want to call out with help from Cards by Christine Bertram. She helped me design the cards. So we married up the kits that were put together that you could purchase or earn for free with the kit contents. So let's check out our card here. I'm still zoomed in from yesterday. Sorry about that. Not that that's a bad thing, but so this is card number 3 for someone extra special. Love that sentiment. It was so universal, fit in a lot of the cards that we designed. However, we did bring in some additional stamp sets to try to get some diversity in the 13 cards that we did. So for someone extra special, and then on the inside, we did birthday wishes. So this is the card we are creating today. So I'm bringing in my supplies and we are going to make this card. So the kit that I sent out includes a Flirty Flamingo card base. It includes a mat for the Memories and More card. It also includes a mat for inside the card and a strip for our ribbon. Then we took supplies from the box that included this scalloped square, this Memories and More card that is embossed with we've been calling it flower power pattern, this Memories and More card, this is for the inside of our card, and then this piece of DSP. So these are the full supplies for this card once you have opened the box and married it up with the cards from the kit that I sold. So first and foremost, we are going to clear our workspace so we have somewhere to work. And then we are going to fold our card base and burnish it. Hardest step is behind us. Just kidding. Okay, next I would like to not make a huge mess. Next I would like to cut down my DSP. And we are going to do 4 by 3 3/4. So I'm going to bring in my cutter. I love this kind of like washed look on this DSP. So 4 by 3 3/4. Okay. Then I think the next step we should do is take our Memories and More embossed piece and get some color on that. We will bring in our scrap piece of paper again. And now you will see that we aren't going to be using the whole strip of it. We're actually going to be using more like half of it. I don't think you'll be able to see this, but the whole piece is actually under here. So we didn't necessarily like trim it down per se. but you could if you wanted to. Like if you wanted to cut it into a strip and then have the additional strip for a different card. But that was not how we did it. Just a tip if you would like to do that for yourself. All right, I am going to grab a dauber. And we are going to put some color on half of this strip. Now, I have learned in the last 2 days of making cards with you that I'm new to this, so my stamp pads are all very juicy. So I'm going to keep that in mind as I, yeah. Oh, this one was never properly cleaned. Oops. I'll try that again. Either way, still very dark. So when I am getting ink on my daubers or my blending brushes or anything like that, I usually just do a little tap tap and then I test it out on my test sheet. It's kind of multifold to make sure, like, okay, I noticed that I still had a former color on my dauber. That was important to know. It also kind of lightens the tone and gets me ready to start distributing color on my piece. So I'm going to do that, tap it off, and then still very important is to start off of your piece before you move in. Wow, I pressed the wrong button. So tap, 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 start off, and then lightly bring the color in. Now, if you go gangbusters and get too much color on here, like I got it pretty thick right there, if you don't cut it in half and use half of it, you could just turn it and like start over. But I don't think this is too bad, so I'll just keep spreading this. So you can see, okay, here's where I started. So I started off and brought it in, but I still maybe had a little bit too much ink on there by the time I started. Went up, went back down. So you can get a wide variety of shades out of one color. So keep that in mind. Now there's just a couple very subtle spots that aren't quite the same tone or color as the rest, but I don't think it is bad. Now's when I'm going to test this out. There's a dimensional back inside of my card base. Silly, silly. Okay, so we're going to set that down, set this down. Okay, so it gets a little light towards the center here. I might darken that up. But in terms of the coloration, sample card, made at Cards by Christine, with a much lighter hand. So I think what I'll do is I will try to be a lot lighter. I don't know if I like one better or worse. Here's a side-by-side comparison for you if you want to make the decision for yourself. It's hard to have a light hand, so I'm going to try because, again, it doesn't necessarily matter. One half of it's going to be tucked under. So I'm just going to lightly, oh goodness, this makes me so nervous, lightly lay some color down and try to do this with a lighter hand. So there's your lesson for the day. You can always add more. You can't take it away. So partially to make it look intentional, I'm going to try to darken the edges so that these few edges where I got a little heavy-handed don't stand out or look out of place. Now's the moment of truth. Oh my goodness. I need to wax all of my stamp pads. Okay, so bring that back over here. So here is option number 1. And if you can't, like, let's say you like this look and you can't achieve it, that would probably be a good indicator that it is time to re-ink your stamp pad. So this is option number 1, heavier hand, much more flirty looking, not like flirtatious looking, but flirty flamingo looking. Or you can rotate it and then you have the lighter version, which I think I personally like better. It does get a little thick here where I went over the center line a little, but if you look at our sample card, there's really only 2 spots that it's going to show out, so it is not going to be bad or noticeable or, you know, anything detrimental to the card. Okay, so I am going to go ahead and glue this side down first and then the DSP. I did bring a new glue in, but now it's kind of just a mission to get the most out of this glue as possible. So stay tuned for the whole series as you watch to see how long my glue can survive. Just kidding, that would be really boring. Okay, so that's stuck down. I think this is it. I think we cashed it. Okay, give that liquid glue just a second to properly adhere. Then you will take your Memories and More card. It is this floral pattern. We've got pops of Flirty Flamingo and then lighter pinks. I don't know that that pink is necessarily a Stampin' Up color. I'm not saying that it's not, but I think the Flirty Flamingo is definitely where we are pulling the inspiration and color scheme from. So you can't, oh, look at that. Let's just make this a really boring card. Sorry, that was kind of rude. Okay, so we can recycle this and just give in to the new glue. Now I'm going to have a heavy hand with the glue and we are going to be oozing out. No, let's not do that. Woohoo! Yeah, there we go. Okay, so stick this down. Then we have a strip of Flirty Flamingo that is going to go through the middle of this Memories and More card. And that is going to be the base for our baker's twine. Oh my goodness. Okay, you guys. I have this running basically right through the center. Okay, now we will transition to some ribbon. So we'll bring in our Flirty Flamingo baker's twine and our Terran tape. Put a strip on each end. Okay, then we'll find the beginning of our ribbon. Stick it down. Maybe not blindly stick it down. Okay, so we will run one strip of horizontal baker's twine. Stick it to the back. Now, you can either send your second round and just keep wrapping, or if you want to conserve a little bit of ribbon, you can send it back where it came from. Trim it. And then I always want to double check. So there's some give here. So I can move these up or down just a little. We're splitting hairs at this point, but making sure that there's proper spacing and making sure it's even. Okay, flip that back over, complete the tear and tape sandwich. And we'll get the ribbon out of our way. Okay, now back to our card. We have our ephemera scalloped square. That's a lot of words that I really had to search for there. We're going to bring in our stamp set, the 12 Days of Crafting Advent Calendar stamp set that came with our Advent box. For someone extra special, we just used that on yesterday's card. Okay, we'll bring in our block and early espresso. That one I've used much more. You can tell because it's not quite so rackety in opening. Okay, so I'll use the grid that is on my glass desk mat to help make sure that I'm round, not round, but like squared off as best as possible. Then I will stamp for someone extra special and do my best to get that centered within our square. That's pretty good. We also are stamping on the inside birthday wishes. So while I have my stamp pad out, I may as well do that. Let's find my chamois. Still getting the hang of this whole workflow. I need to find a space. Christine's desk at her studio has a pull-out drawer. Optimal. I would love to have something like that. Maybe I could build a shelf under my table, but for the time being, I don't have the proper space for everything. And I think a lot of that comes from actually working in the space and knowing how to best accommodate. So we'll see. Birthday wishes go on the inside. This I used on card number 1 a few days ago, and I told you that this stamp in particular I like to mount sideways to make it as straight as possible. All right, let's straighten this up. Okay, birthday wishes. That is beautiful. Bring that chamois back into play. Okay, while we're at it, I'm going to glue this. Oh, this is the old glue. Oh, she is still kicking. Glue this in the bottom right-hand corner. And you may be thinking, Kelly, why are we putting a bow on the inside? Well, hang tight. Okay, so for someone extra special, put that up here. So we are down to just adhesion. Let's bring in our dimensionals. I grabbed just the dimensional back. That's not going to help even a little bit. Ooh, I did it again. I don't know that I've ever done that. Okay. This piece, I need to be careful because some of these don't have backs on them. This piece is just being centered or adhered on the card, centered left to right and top to bottom. Then we are going to flip over our rectangle. I'm going to put a dimensional in each corner and then one in the middle as well. This is also going to be centered left to right and top to bottom. Then we need some embellishments. So from door number 6, we had these puffy stickers. We are going to take the pink bow and stick that down in the bottom. And then, oh, I don't even remember what door this was from. I feel like it was number 10. We have this beautiful loose mix. I am looking for these circle starburst pieces, which fortunately I have several of just at the end, so I'm not even going to dump them out. Save myself some mess. Okay, I just need 3 of them. So let's see. I did show them off on my unpacking day. And I know it is extremely hard to give you a visual of what we are looking at. Let's see if I can start by getting them on just plain white paper. Okay, so there's that. And let's even zoom in a little more. Ooh, we're way over here. Okay, so can you see them? For reference, here's my finger. We zoomed in just a little bit. Sorry, I probably was shouting at you. Okay, so there you go. That is the sequin that we're using. Very beautiful, iridescent, light pink. Circles with kind of like a starburst effect to them. Let's grab our glue, again, with ever so slight of the hand. Ah. There you be. Now, while that's drying, we will bring our inside back into play. All we have to do is adhere it because we did everything else already. Okay. All right, there you go. Let's show it off. Now, I think we need to Stella because that is what we have been doing. And I'm not going to lie, doing Stella on the flower petals has been bringing me a lot of joy. Now, there's a lot of flower petals on this one. This might be overkill. Maybe I should do them just on the light flowers. You know what? You can always add more. You cannot take away. Let's try it. Ooh, that wasn't dry yet. I need to get past my stage in life where Stella is an afterthought. Because it would have been easier to do this before I stuck everything down. However, Stella is very user-friendly, so it's not impossible. I like that. I think it's just the right amount. So let's show it off. Those beautiful elements. It's always so hard to catch the Stella in the frame, but it adds such a beautiful touch. This is card number 3. What do you think of that one? I love Flirty Flamingo. Sometimes in the past, I'd thought it was too bright. I think I hadn't just found the right way to use Flirty Flamingo or the right color combination to use it in. This is amazing. I am very much a fan of this card. We have a couple other Flirty Flamingo pops coming up, but we are going to cap this series off with another Flirty Flamingo card. So I think it is beautiful. I'm a fan of all of the cards, but this is a really good one. So thank you so much for joining. Stay tuned. We will be back tomorrow with another card number 4. Until then, sending sunshine, rainbows, and bright skies your way.